Okay, so there are 6 different programming language features that we'll be introducing right now. And the first of them is this idea of compiled versus interpreted languages. So Nat, do you want to get us going and explain what the differences are?
So historically, this was a big difference that people had to make the decision when they were designing their language, whether it was going to be compiled or interpreted. The basic concept is that a compiled program is translated to machine code before it's run, whereas an interpreted program, the program is never necessarily translated to machine code. There is instead an interpreter that reads the pieces of the program one at a time and then tries to execute them without ever having an actual executable piece of machine code specifically for that program.
Okay, so you said historically this is very clear. Isn't it really still clear? C is a compiled language, that's your classic compiled language. How about for interpreted languages? BASIC, the original Dartmouth BASIC from the 1960s, that's interpreted.
Yep, those are very clear.
JavaScript's interpreted, right? That runs in the browser. You're not shipping machine code to the browser.
Kind of. You ship JavaScript code to the browser, but then the browser goes ahead and compiles that code before it runs it to machine code.
It compiles it to machine code.
Right before it runs it.
So it doesn't get compiled to some intermediate code which then gets interpreted?
It probably gets compiled to 2 intermediate forms that then get compiled to machine code.
So how about Java? Java is also a hybrid system, but it's pretty straightforward. It gets compiled into class files, which are, and then there's a virtual machine, a Java virtual machine that interprets the information in the class file.
The early versions of Java interpreted the Java class code, but the way Java runtimes work now is they take that Java class code and do what's called just-in-time compilation, where they compile the class code into machine code, one function at a time, before it actually gets run.
And then that compilation gets cached, so it only has to get compiled once, and then it can be reused many times. So is this even a useful distinction anymore, since basically everything is a hybrid system now?
Maybe.